Hey YouTube, what's up? Ember1205 here for Hot Camaro Channel. This is part number 3 in a series. Video number 1 talked about the prep of the car and some test fitting, linked below. Video number 2 talked about all of the prep work of the accessory itself, also linked below. This video, number 3 in the series, focuses on the actual installation of the accessory onto the car, along with a couple little quirks I ran into and how to work around some of that. So as always, please subscribe, like the videos, and please give me your comments below about this video and how useful it is for you, as well as anything that you might want to see on the channel in general. Specifically, tips, tricks, things about the car. Those are going to be the biggest areas for me to possibly be able to help. But as always, I thank you for watching, and let's go ahead and get to the install. All right, here we go. Final step here. I have already gone through and removed the protective backer on most of the tape. At the front edge, I curled the starter piece up a bit so that I have something to be able to use as kind of like a pull cord, if you will. And then on the lower one that runs on the contour here, I peeled up from the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this from back to front. My focus is going to be on the underbody piece, and what I'm really looking to do there is to get the spacing and positioning correct for the horizontal piece that comes up underneath the car, and that'll basically put the vertical piece that comes up onto the rocker really into the right position. And once I have that in place, then I can peel the lower tape strip and get that stuck on the bottom, and then I can do the same for the top, and I can press that into place. So that'll be all ready to go. The only thing that I have to do is I have to take some paper towels and some alcohol and wipe down the paint surface on the car really, really well. And I mentioned that I've already washed and dried the car, and it's had a couple of days time to actually sit and air dry as well, so there's no concern about moisture. Obviously I got, the heavy dirt, road grit, soil, that kind of stuff. I made a point to wash this really, really well when I wash the car. But there's still the potential, and there it is right there. It's real simple to see. There's still the potential for there to be other stuff on the paint, and a good wipe down with the alcohol will take care of that. So I'm just going to go over this really quick. Good news is that, number one, alcohol itself dries really, really quickly, so I don't have to worry too much about actually drying this off, but I am still going to come back and wipe it down to dry it as well. Once I get this done, go ahead and start mounting that up. Hey everyone. So I got a few things done while the camera wasn't rolling tape. You saw me trying to persuade the back end, the rear portion of this particular driver's side skirt here to get it to stick when I got started. Then you saw me doing the same sort of thing on the front end. I tried to wedge a couple of boards in there to see if I could apply some constant pressure to get it to stick. It wasn't working. So what I ultimately did is I went and got some help. Heat. If you take a look at the information about how these VHB tapes work, as I mentioned to you when prepping the skirts with the tape, I told you that when you apply the tape, you have to apply pressure. That basically activates the adhesive on the side that sticks to the plastic of the skirt itself. But when it comes to the other side, these are actually dual adhesives. There's two totally different adhesives on these tapes. On the other side, what you need some pressure to hold it in place, and it needs to remain in place for a period of time. And if you look up the information about how the adhesion on these things work, what you'll find is at room temperature, it takes about 20 minutes to reach 50% of the total adhesion. If you can raise the temperature, that accelerates. And then, again, room temperature, like 24, 36, 48 hours is what you need typically to hit full adhesion rate. After that, leaving it for any longer, it's not going to stick any better, right? It's as stuck as it's going to get. So by applying heat, what I did was I basically accelerated the process to get to that 50% mark where it was at least halfway stuck. So what I've got now is, I went ahead and I already had the other skirt on when I actually did this driver's side one. So I actually went along both of the skirts. I did the full length of both this one here on the driver's side. I also did the full length of the one on the passenger side and heated the whole thing up, pressed it in, held it for 10 or 15 seconds. And that hairdryer is actually really hot. It's a pretty high temp hairdryer. So I don't have to run it for too long, maybe 30 seconds over about a 2-foot area, kind of waving it back and forth, and it gets pretty warm. So, with some pressure to put it in place, everything is stuck pretty nicely. I did have a couple of spots on the passenger side where a couple of small openings had developed, and going along the seam and heating it up and getting it kind of restuck, it seems like it's good. So I'm calling it a night. And I'm going to, take another look tomorrow in the morning and kind of see where things are at. And hopefully, hopefully it sticks pretty well. And it's just a matter of getting the few screws in there that I'll need to kind of hold it in place. As I said earlier, I'm really hoping to get to a point where the screws are almost cosmetic, which is kind of dumb to say, I know, because you're not going to see them. But you kind of get what I mean, right? That like they're there more as when you think of belt and suspenders, they're there as kind of the safety net, right? You don't want to rely on them. You want the tape to do its job. But in the event that, you need a little extra help, they'll be there. So that's what I'm striving for. We'll see what happens. So I'll pick this up, again, through the magic of editing. You're not going to have to wait, but I do. I'm going to pick this up tomorrow and take a look and see where things are at and kind of revisit this. And if I have to take them both completely off and start again, well, then so be it. But we'll see tomorrow. All right, everyone. This is, let's call it the moment of truth. It is approximately 48 hours since I went ahead and installed these. Here's kind of how it went. So I put this on, right? You saw me do all of the taping and get this all lined up, got this all in place. Put everything on here, and I showed you how I had to add some heat to get some of these areas to adhere. I came back out here probably a couple of hours after that point, and I did find, that things were pretty good, but there was another spot or two where I added a little bit more heat. And then I did it once more the following morning. So that was yesterday morning. It's now well into the evening of the second full day from when I put this on. So as far as the time right now, it's probably a couple hours shy of a full 48 hours. And I just want to show you how this panned out. So I'm going to hopefully be able to get you some good visual here. So right here I have one spot where there's a little bit of a gap, but I can go, you know, along the entirety of this seam or whatever you want to call this. And I realize this is not showing up great, but no other gaps anywhere down the entire length of this whole side skirt. And then if we come around to the passenger side, here's all the adhesive protective stuff. If we come around to the passenger side, I've got one section on here as well that did kind of the same thing, and hopefully it's going to show it right here. One little area here that I've got a little bit of a gap in the tape, and that's it. So, you know, again, I've read a lot of reviews. I realize I went over that kind of fast. There's not much to see, though. I read a lot of reviews from folks that put these things on and didn't like them, but I'm actually pretty impressed. So there you have it. I've got the side skirts are on. I have the splitter on the front. So I've got the front end dressed up. Nice matching skirts down the side. Everything's in place. The splitter, I'll link to it at the end of the video to be able to give you an opportunity to go back and look and see what I did there. But the splitter went on. There are places for you to be able to drill and add rivets. I did not. It is on with the 3M tape that it came equipped with, plus the standard mounting hardware. These have no hardware at this point, zero. So they've been on the car 48 hours, tape only. You saw the process that I used to put it all together. Clearly, this is a good fit in and of itself. And I showed you how I didn't have a lot of gap and whatnot. So I'm genuinely thinking that this is a slightly redesigned side skirt to fit the 2019s and 2020s. And that it does have a better contour follow for that area there towards the back. So tape only, 48 hours. It's not pulling off. At this point, the bond is, it's as strong as it's going to get. And it is pretty strong, by the way. So, I mean, I can lean on this pretty hard. And you see, obviously, the plastic bend, but it doesn't come off. So, overall, I'm pretty impressed with it so far. I'm actually hoping that we're going to get some decent weather in a couple of days to where I can take it out and drive it a little bit. And I want to actually kind of get it out there and, put some stress on it from the wind and such moving over it, and just kind of see how it goes with absolutely no hardware holding it in place at all. If I can do this as a completely no-drill installation, I would be super happy. So we'll see what happens. So down below, subscribe, like, comment, tell me what you think of this install. Tell me what other questions you have about what I've done here, other things that maybe, interest you, whatnot. But definitely, please subscribe so that you can help support the channel. Like it, don't like it, put your comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, Ember 1205 out.